A great movie, Spy Game. Robert Redford, Brad Pitt. If you haven't seen it, I highly encourage it. I kind of pulled it out of the archives this past week after I watched the exchange of international spies on a tarmac in Europe. Did you guys see that this past week?
Yeah.
Well, we traded 8 for 4, or we traded 4 to get 8, or something like that. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I thought the Cold War was over. I didn't realize that international espionage was still taking place. And it's kind of funny when you think about it. I guess back in the old days when they made those trades, or when they were caught and they were hidden, no one knew about it. It just kind of took place under the whole cloak and dagger thing. Now with the internet, and cell phones and video recordings of everything, I guess we get to see it all. It's hard to be. I guess it's hard to have international intrigue when everybody knows what's going on. All they have to do is flip on a news station and they can watch the exchange of spies on TV. I mean, what an interesting concept. How many of you guys were surprised by that? Didn't that seem?
Yes.
It just kind of seems like so long ago. And if you watch this movie Spy Game with Redford Pitt, it's a great movie. I highly recommend it. It's very interesting. You're like sitting there going, all these problems and issues could just have been deleted if they could just text each other. By the way, don't make the drop. We already got it. The whole time they're trying to figure things out, trying to get to a landline, trying to figure out what's going on. In cell phones, they really solve a lot of these issues. You can kind of pretty much do it at your home. I guess that's what happens now. People just spy on the internet, or they spy on people that listen to conversations. I think that's one of the things though that is so interesting is that this craft. Because what I liked about this scene, and the reason why I showed it to you guys, it ties in with the psalm, it ties in with the kids' message, is what a lifestyle change it is to go from even a sergeant in the army to a spy, to a secret agent, to a special agent. I mean, what a change in behavior in the way that you interact with people. What if we classified everyone around us as assets? What if we classified those around us as how can I use these people to get something that we want? There are actually people that actually do that in the world. But what if that was our instinct to do that? It would change the way we interact, it would change the way we communicate, it would change what we reveal about ourselves, everything. And so it's an interesting concept to watch this individual go through this series of instinctual changes. He's being reprogrammed to function as a spy, as a special agent for the Central Intelligence Agency. It's a total life change. Total life worldview change. How you act, how you respond. He even goes as far as say you need to be able to understand what's going on around you just like you're breathing unconsciously. It's an instinct. He's implanting an instinct in an individual. Well, that's kind of what we're talking about when we look at 40 days of change. You guys have heard of boot camp, right? Boot camp. How long is boot camp in the Army? Anyone know? Who knows? 6 weeks. How many days are in 6 weeks? 42. Ironic, isn't it? 40 days of change. In boot camp, the same thing takes place. They put you in boot camp. They want you to become someone different. They want your instincts to be different than they were when you came in. They want your body to be trained differently than it was when it got there. Your mind, your emotions, everything. You guys realize in 6 weeks, you can change the person you are. You go to these gyms around here, they have boot camps, they last 6 weeks, same thing. You can change who you are, how you act, your health in 6 weeks. And that's one of the things that we're talking about with 40 days of change. It's a way of changing our instinct. It's a way of changing who we are. And it's a way of changing us so that we become the special agents for Christ that Christ calls us to be. See, when we're called, it's kind of like being called up to the CIA or called up to a specific role. When we're called to serve a specific purpose that God has planned for us. And that plan is special. And therefore, we have to prepare ourselves to become God's special agents. We have to prepare ourselves to become God's special agent. When we look in the Gospels of Christ, we see that Jesus was just that. He was a special agent. He was sent as the Son of God to bring the good news of the world. The good news. The gospel. The fact that God sent His Son to die on the cross for the world. That was His role. That was His job. He came and He was called. But that wasn't without training. Do you guys realize that? that wasn't without a boot camp. Yeah, clearly Christ was the Son of God. He was born of the Virgin Mary. He came into this world. He was special. But he had his training. He had to have his instincts and his commitment refined and toned and made strong and firm. Anybody know when that took place?
40 days of temptation.
40 days in the desert. That's right. How many days are in 6 weeks? How many days of change are we talking about? Interesting, isn't it? How many days did it rain with Noah? You guys, there's something about that length of time that enables us to experience a transformation. That enables us to transplant our instinctual responses to an environment and then create new ones. Can you believe that? Seriously, can you? I mean, that's amazing. We think, oh, it's instinct, it's subconscious, it's our natural human response. We can actually give ourselves new instincts. We can actually change our instinctual responses to stimulus. It really doesn't take that long to stop shouting at other drivers on the road. It doesn't. You can do it. I mean, I may make little comments here and there, but I'm not shouting as much as I was. Or gesturing, that's for sure. You know, funny story. My dad and my mom, they're in Oman. They're here with us today. But in Oman, apparently, you can go to jail for gesturing, which was a major problem for my dad. Trust me. I mean, Jack used to drive with one arm on the wheel, one arm out the window. I mean, it was watch out. You know? And so the problem was he had to stop. He had to train himself because hey, who wants to go to jail? You know, that was a major offense. It was very offensive to gesture. Even if it's just raising your hand or, doing whatever obnoxiously, it's just not appropriate. He had to train himself. We can train ourselves those instincts, and I think the challenge for us is to train ourselves, give us new instincts, because the old ones aren't always working for us. If we think about giving to God in 40 days of change, we think about giving to God, we're like, oh, dang it. How much have I got in my wallet today? Well, a couple drinks, dinner, no movies. If we have to think about giving to God like that, we need to change our instincts, folks. Seriously, are you a special agent? If it's a burden for you to give to God, give what is already God's? We need to change our instincts. A change will do us good. If we are constantly walking around feeling that, oh, everyone's out to get me, or life is so unfair, or why do I have to deal with this stuff? Why am I the one that has to deal with this problem or that problem? If we give ourselves this pity party, we need to change. We need to change. I mean, I ain't going to lie to you. Hillary and I are married, and we have 4 kids between the both of us that have 2 separate homes. You know what I mean? I mean, that's tough to deal with. There are issues that are constantly coming up. And, I said to the other day, I said, we have to be we can't expect just to have normal human responses. We have to be superhuman. Seriously. We can't just be, oh, wow, that makes us upset. Oh, we're going to get mad and be upset and be angry about it. We have to figure out how to be superhuman, better than what the normal response ought to be.